Archangel Michael says, "The weight of what I am carrying is not made of gold or silver, but of the prayers you whispered when no one was around. The ones soaked in tears, hidden behind closed doors, and never spoken out loud. God heard those. And I carried every single one of them before the throne. I brought this message to show you that heaven has not turned its back on you, not now, not ever. I have watched your soul press through seasons that tried to break you. I've seen your light flicker in the dark, struggling to keep burning in rooms full of shadows. And I want you to know that none of that was unseen by the eyes of God. Your life, as ordinary as you may think it is sacred. Your steps are numbered with purpose. And even though you may not always feel holy, you are held together by a love that never stops pursuing you. Type 999 if you know God is with you. There are moments when the loneliness in your heart speaks louder than the promises you once believed in. That's when heaven begins to lean in closer, not farther away. You are not invisible to God. You are not forgotten by Jesus. There is a name written on the palm of His hand, and it is yours. Not because you earned it, but because you were always loved, right from the beginning, even before you knew how to call out His name. Like this video and subscribe to this channel if God has touched your life. I didn't come to judge you. I came to lift the burden you've been carrying alone. I came to wrap these invisible arms around you and say, you don't have to be strong by yourself anymore. You've tried to hold everything together, your family, your sanity, your faith. But God is telling you through me, even if you feel like you're failing, you are still being carried. Every single second of your silent battle, heaven was on your side. There are things in your life right now that don't make sense. People you trusted turned away, doors that should have opened remained closed, and blessings you prayed for still feel far away. But I need you to hear this from the heart of Jesus: delay is not denial. And what hasn't arrived yet is being prepared in ways you cannot yet see. You are walking through a hallway right now, not a dead end. And just because it's dark doesn't mean you've been abandoned. Sometimes God turns off the light just to teach your heart to trust His voice. What if a simple 7-minute sound frequency could awaken a forgotten brain signal designed to pull wealth toward you like a magnet? Backed by shocking CIA files and neuroscience, this discovery is now changing lives everywhere. Think of debts melting away, promotions arriving, and abundance flowing freely. This is the one moment that can rewrite your future, but only if you claim it now, because hesitation will only keep you chained to the same struggles. Click the link in video description and comments below to experience the hidden wealth wave and let your financial destiny shift in your favor today. You are being prepared for something far bigger than what's behind you. The tears you've cried in private are watering seeds for miracles that will bloom in public. You don't need to shout to be seen. You don't need to prove your worth to be loved. Heaven already declared your value. Jesus already gave His life for your freedom. And the pain you feel right now is not the end of your story, it's the middle of a testimony that is being written by the hands of the Savior Himself. Let your heart rest in this truth: you are not late for your destiny. You are not lost on the way. And nothing that is meant for you will miss you, not when you are walking with the one who knows how to turn every mess into mercy. There are days ahead filled with beauty, restoration, healing, and joy, but you must not give up now. You must not silence the faith inside you just because fear is screaming louder. Trust doesn't always feel like peace. It sometimes feels like trembling steps forward through fog and fire. But with every trembling step, Jesus is near. He sees the weight you are carrying in silence, and He honors it. He sees the dreams you gave up on, and He remembers them. He sees how you still love people who have hurt you, and He treasures that kind of grace. This is not the end. You are not too late. You haven't missed your miracle. You are just beginning to see what God can do when everything around you says it's over, and still, the voice of heaven says, "Watch what I do next." You didn't come across this message by accident. I didn't sacrifice my wings just to speak into the wind. This was for you. Because your soul matters. Because your heart is seen. Because Jesus still has His eyes on you. And I will not stop fighting for you until the day you look in the mirror and see the same beauty in yourself that heaven has seen in you all along. You are loved. You are chosen. You are being carried through. And I will remain near, until every shadow fades and every scar turns into a sign that says, "Grace lives here." You may not see it yet, but there is a divine thread holding your life together even when everything feels like it's falling apart. That thread is woven by the hands of the Almighty, stitched with promises that cannot be broken. You've been standing in places where it feels like nothing is changing, where time feels slow, and silence feels loud. But even in those places, God has been working. The soil beneath your sorrow is not barren, it's fertile. Something beautiful is taking root even as your heart still aches. You've prayed with words that never made it past your lips. You've cried at night and wiped the tears before anyone noticed. And while people saw your smile, only heaven saw the breaking happening behind it. But here's the truth that I came to remind you of: Jesus never left you. Not for 1 second. Even in your weakest moment, you were still being held. Even in your deepest sin, His mercy still covered you. This is not the time to give up. This is not the hour to shut your heart down. I know the wait has been long. I know the weight has been heavy. But there is a shift coming, and the enemy wants to wear you out just before the miracle reaches your doorstep. That's why this message had to reach you. Because heaven couldn't bear the thought of you walking away when you're this close to breakthrough. Type 111 if you believe miracles are near. You have endured things that could have shattered you, yet here you are, breathing, hoping, and still trying to believe. That, my beloved, is strength. Not the kind the world applauds, but the kind heaven crowns. God is not looking for perfect people. He's looking for real hearts. Honest ones. Hearts that are willing to say, "I don't have it all together, but I still trust you." And that trust, even when it's trembling, still moves mountains in heaven. If you only knew how many times the plans of the enemy were stopped because of God's hand on your life, you would never doubt again. If you only saw what I saw, the spiritual battles fought over your future, you would walk with your head high and your heart open. You are not being overlooked. You are being protected. You are not forgotten. You are being hidden for the right moment. Do not look away, listen until the end, because heaven's answer is hidden in these words. There is someone reading this now whose heart has grown tired. You've seen doors close, relationships break, finances dry up, and you've started wondering if maybe God changed his mind about you. But listen carefully, God doesn't revoke his promises. What he spoke over you is still alive. And if something was removed, it's only because something better had to be prepared. You haven't lost your destiny. You're being shaped for it. What if the missing piece to financial success wasn't luck, but a hidden frequency inside your brain waiting to be switched on? Once activated, this ancient signal unleashes waves of prosperity, opening doors to opportunities you never thought possible. From sudden windfalls to long-awaited breakthroughs, it's transforming lives daily. Want to see how? Click the link in the video description and comments below to tap into the money magnet brain wave and begin your journey today. Others are already awakening this hidden signal and watching their lives transform. Do not be the one left behind while abundance passes you by. The delay is not punishment, it's preparation. The silence is not rejection, it's refinement. Your faith isn't failing, it's being stretched. Because the kind of glory that God wants to release in your life can't come through ease and comfort. It comes through fire and surrender. And I am here to walk you through the fire without the smell of smoke clinging to your soul. I didn't give up my wings to speak softly. I gave them up to carry this urgent truth straight to the edge of your breaking point. You are still called. You are still worthy. And your name is still echoing in the throne room of heaven. Jesus has never withdrawn his hand from your life. His love is not conditional. His presence is not occasional. His mercy is not limited by your pain. You may feel worn down, but you are not worn out. And you are not alone. What's ahead of you is not just a blessing, it's a resurrection. God is not only going to give you what you lost, he's going to breathe new life into the places you buried. The dreams you stopped praying for are still alive. The healing you stopped expecting is still on its way. The peace you thought you'd never feel again will soon become the very ground you walk on. Let this message sit with you. Let it breathe in your chest. Let it remind you that you matter, eternally. You matter to heaven. You matter to the one who gave his life for you. You matter to me. That's why I'm still here. That's why I haven't stopped fighting for you. Because when the Father sent me, he said, "Don't return without reminding them, they are still mine." I carried this message across realms because I couldn't bear the thought of you slipping into despair without hearing what heaven is planning next for your life. There are hidden blessings being woven into the tapestry of your pain. You haven't been abandoned. You've been sheltered. Not from life's storms, but from the things that would have broken your spirit beyond repair. What felt like rejection was redirection. What looked like loss was protection. And every delay, every closed door, was love disguised in the form of waiting. You don't see it yet, but something is shifting behind the veil. Your name is being spoken in places your feet have not reached. Your future is being guarded by angels even when your present feels fragile and uncertain. And while the world may not know the battles you've had to fight in secret, heaven does. The Father saw every night you laid awake, whispering silent prayers with trembling faith. He saw how you kept loving others while your own heart was breaking. And He has decided that your season of lack will not end in loss, it will end in laughter. You are standing at the edge of something holy. You may not feel ready, but grace doesn't wait for perfection. It finds brokenness and pours oil on it. It meets fear and releases peace. It comes in quiet, like a morning breeze, not to announce itself loudly but to change everything silently. That is what Jesus is doing in your life right now, changing everything without making a scene. One healing at a time. One restored hope at a time. One breath of strength at a time. There are things in your heart you've stopped speaking out loud because the world made you feel foolish for believing in miracles. But hear this, you serve a God who still parts seas, still opens graves, still breathes into dry bones, and still writes stories that don't make sense until the very last chapter. He has not run out of miracles. He has not run out of favor. And He certainly hasn't run out of plans for your life. You may feel surrounded by uncertainty right now, but heaven is surrounding you with protection, provision, and divine timing. There are angels assigned to your every step, clearing paths you don't even know exist yet. What is heavy now will soon become holy. What is painful now will one day become a praise that shakes the gates of hell. And what has been withheld is only being stored, not stolen. I speak to the part of you that is tired of hoping. I speak to the part of you that wants to stop believing because the weight has become unbearable. Let me tell you this gently, do not stop now. Do not shut down the garden God planted in your heart just because the storm hasn't passed. The rain will not drown you. It will feed your roots. It will deepen your faith. It will soften the places in you that once turned hard out of fear. There is purpose in your pain, not because pain is beautiful, but because God is. And anything He touches becomes worthy of redemption. That includes you. That includes the chapter of your life you wish you could forget. That includes the silence that made you question if He still listens. He has been there all along, writing beauty into your ashes, even when you could only see the smoke. What if the fastest path to wealth was already inside your mind, waiting to be activated by a powerful sound wave? Scientists call it the money-attracting frequency, and once awakened, it begins drawing opportunities, success, and financial freedom like never before. Imagine the relief of no more bills and the joy of living your dreams. This is more than an offer, it is a divine turning point. Your destiny is waiting, but only if you choose to move now. Click the link in the video description and comments below to turn on this ancient brainwave today. Type Amen if you surrender fully to God's will. You don't need to know how it will all work out. You just need to remember who is writing your story. The same Jesus who walked on water, fed the hungry, healed the blind, and rose from the grave is walking beside you now, whispering, "I'm not finished with you yet." His plans are not fragile. They don't break under pressure. And neither will you, not with His Spirit living in you. Even when everything feels unfamiliar, His love remains steady. It is not based on your performance, your prayers, or your perfection. It's based on who He is, faithful, kind, merciful, and endlessly good. He doesn't just give love, He is love. And you are the reason He stayed on the cross. Not to shame you, not to judge you, but to rescue the parts of your soul you didn't even know were drowning. You are not beyond repair. You are not too far gone. You are not too much, or not enough. You are exactly who God chose when He decided to send this message through me. That means your life still holds value, your breath still carries purpose, and your future is still covered in promise. Let that truth rise within you like light breaking through the cracks. Let it remind you that this is not the end. This is just the beginning of something heaven is about to unfold in your life, something you'll one day look back on and say, "That was the moment everything changed." There's something sacred about your struggle, even though it's been messy and exhausting. You didn't know it, but while you were battling with your doubts and fears, while you were questioning your worth and wondering if your life mattered, the heavens were still open over you. Even in your silence, your name was being spoken in intercession. Even in your worst moments, Jesus never once turned His eyes away from you. The love of God isn't distant. It doesn't stand far off when you're falling. It gets closer. It leans in. It carries you when your knees are too weak to stand. You've survived things that were meant to destroy you, not because you were strong, but because grace kept stepping in when you were about to give up. You've been preserved for a reason. And the reason is now. Type yes if your soul rests in God, and share this video with 7 people of faith to welcome blessings and miracles into your journey. Right now, something is being stirred in the spirit that the enemy never wanted you to experience: restoration. That's why you felt the pressure, the confusion, the discouragement. Because when heaven is getting ready to release something, hell tries to distract you with noise, with fear, with lies that tell you you're forgotten. But listen to me, your name is engraved into the heart of God. And what belongs to you in heaven cannot be lost on earth. There is a light breaking through for you, even if your eyes can't see it yet. Your soul feels it. That's why you haven't walked away entirely. That's why you're still here reading this. Because deep inside, something sacred still believes, even through the exhaustion. That part of you is the part that heaven is responding to now. Not the loudest part. Not the strongest part. But the part that dared to hope one more time. This hope you're holding, even if it's tiny, is about to collide with the kindness of God. And when it does, you will look back and realize that all the heartbreak, all the unanswered questions, all the waiting and silence and tears, they were never wasted. They were planting something invisible that is just now beginning to break through the soil. You didn't miss your moment. You didn't lose your miracle. God was just taking His time building something that couldn't be shaken. You may have walked through fire, but you're not burned. You may have walked through floods, but you're not drowning. You are being prepared to carry something bigger than what you lost. And this message, this sacred moment, is proof that heaven still believes in you. That Jesus still trusts you with the gift of life, and with the mission that was written into your soul before you were born. I've seen you cry when no one noticed. I've heard the trembling prayers you couldn't even finish. And I've seen how, even when your faith grew weak, your heart still whispered His name. That whisper was loud in heaven. That whisper moved the heart of God. That whisper was enough for Him to send me, not with judgment, but with mercy. Not with rebuke, but with hope. Because God never turns away a broken heart. He heals it. He holds it. He uses it. I want you to understand this deeply. You are not forgotten. You are not forsaken. And this battle you're facing right now is not proof that you're being punished, it's proof that you're close to breakthrough. The tension you feel, the weariness, the longing for rest, it's all building up to a turning point. You are not at the end. You are at the edge of renewal. There is peace coming for you, not just temporary relief, but a lasting peace that will sit with you in every room, no matter who is with you or who has left. There is provision coming, not just money or success, but provision that fills every empty part of your spirit. And there is love coming, not the kind that wounds, but the kind that sees you, heals you, and stays. You are being remembered in rooms you've never entered. You are being spoken of in prayers you didn't even know were being prayed. And this message is the sound of heaven knocking on your heart one more time, asking you not to give up. Asking you to open the door. Because what's waiting on the other side is not punishment, not shame, not loss, but a second chance. A holy beginning. A miracle dressed in simplicity. I did not give up my wings for a message that would be ignored. I gave them up because God insisted that this moment would change your life if you would just pause, breathe, and let it in. Let it speak to your spirit. Let it calm the storm inside you. Let it remind you that no matter how far you've wandered, no matter how broken you feel, you are still one of God's most cherished creations. Type 1717 to affirm your life is in God's hands. What if you discovered a tiny, walnut-sized brain region holds the secret to endless wealth and success? Recently uncovered by groundbreaking research and once buried in classified files, this frequency is now available to anyone ready to listen. Imagine replacing worry and struggle with a life of financial ease and freedom. Interested? Click the link in video description and comments below to unleash this hidden brainwave and start attracting wealth right now. You have been guided to this message for a reason, and if you turn away, the chance may not return, this is your time to step in. I know how heavy your heart has grown. I know the weight you've been carrying, unseen by others, misunderstood by many, but never unnoticed by heaven. There have been moments when you smiled for the world while your spirit was quietly breaking inside, moments when you gave more than you had, loved more than you received, forgave when it hurt the most, and stayed silent when your soul needed to scream. And yet, you kept walking. You kept waking up. You kept breathing even when your breath trembled. That is not weakness. That is a divine kind of strength. You didn't give up, even though everything around you told you to. That is why heaven has never stopped walking with you. That is why Jesus has never removed his eyes from you. And that is why I am here, because you needed to know that all the pain you've survived, all the heartbreak you've endured, has not gone unnoticed or unrewarded. It is being gathered. It is being redeemed. And what you've sown in sorrow will bloom in joy. There are some wounds that still ache deep in your chest, not because you're broken, but because you cared so deeply. Your love was never small. Your heart was never guarded. You gave without limit, and that love cost you. But God sees that as sacred. He honors it. And He is restoring you, not just from what happened, but from what it tried to take away, your joy, your peace, your belief that good things can still happen to you. You have felt overlooked. You have felt like maybe others are chosen, others are favored, while you stand waiting, unnoticed. But that is a lie whispered by fear, not a truth spoken by heaven. Because heaven chose you before the foundations of the world. You were never an afterthought. Never a backup plan. There is no darkness you've walked through that disqualifies you from what's coming. There is no mistake you've made that's greater than the mercy God is releasing over your life. You may feel unworthy, but grace does not require worth. It just asks for surrender. It asks for one open heart, willing to believe again, willing to trust again, even if it hurts. And your heart, yes, even now, is more ready than you think. You've walked through fires that should have left you bitter, but somehow you've remained soft. That is the beauty of your spirit. That is the evidence of God's hand on you. The enemy tried to harden you, tried to convince you to shut down and stop believing in love, in people, in heaven itself. But here you are, still reading, still searching, still holding on to a thin thread of hope. And that thin thread is enough. God is weaving it into something beautiful. Don't be afraid of what's next. Don't brace yourself for more pain. This season is not a repeat of your past. It is a reset. A holy interruption. A turning of the page. And the story God is writing now is not one of defeat, but of redemption. The pages ahead will carry light. They will carry healing. They will carry peace that makes no sense to the world, but that fits perfectly in your soul. Heaven is not distant. Angels are not far. You have never been alone, not even once. I have walked beside you through your loneliest nights, whispering strength into your spirit when your body felt like giving up. I have stood guard when danger tried to reach your door. I have watched the tears fall from your eyes and carried them straight to the throne, where the Father receives them like treasures. This love you're being offered, it isn't fragile. It won't leave you. It won't fade with time. It won't disappear when you fall short. It is steady. It is fierce. And it is near. Jesus is not watching you from a distance, waiting for you to get everything right. He is with you now, in the middle of your mess, in the center of your doubt, in the heart of your waiting. And He is not asking for perfection. He is asking for your heart. Even if your heart feels like it's been shattered in pieces, bring it to Him. He doesn't need it to be whole to make it holy. He just needs it to be willing. And right now, in this moment, He is calling you gently, without pressure, without fear. Just love. Just hope. Just truth that sounds like healing. Let it wash over you now. Let it whisper louder than the lies you've believed. Let it remind you that you were never too far, never too late, never too broken. You are, and have always been, exactly where you need to be, for love to find you again. There are moments in life when the silence feels cruel, when prayers feel unanswered, and hope feels too heavy to carry. I know that's where you've been. I know how often you've held your heart in your hands, wondering why things didn't work out, why people left, why promises you held onto so tightly seemed to dissolve like mist. You've waited, you've trusted, you've believed, and sometimes, you've done all three in the dark. That kind of faith is rare. And heaven honors it. You may not feel strong, but that's the miracle of grace. It doesn't require you to be strong. It steps into your weakness and becomes strength for you. You may not feel worthy, but that's the mystery of love. It doesn't wait for you to earn it. It finds you when you least expect it and wraps itself around your soul like a soft blanket after a long, cold night. That's what's happening right now. This message is not just words. It's the Spirit of God moving toward you, quietly, gently, but powerfully. God has not forgotten what He promised you. Not even for a second. He hasn't ignored your cries. He hasn't turned away from your tears. He's been gathering them. Every longing in your heart, every silent hope, every wordless ache, it's all being written into His plan. You are not behind. You are not off track. You are being guided even when it feels like you're standing still. What if the missing piece to financial success wasn't luck, but a hidden frequency inside your brain waiting to be switched on? Once activated, this ancient signal unleashes waves of prosperity, opening doors to opportunities you never thought possible. From sudden windfalls to long-awaited breakthroughs, it's transforming lives daily. Want to see how? Click the link in the video description and comments below to tap into the Money Magnet brainwave and begin your journey today. Others are already awakening this hidden signal and watching their lives transform. Do not be the one left behind while abundance passes you by. Type 1818 to claim miracles and breakthroughs. There is something sacred about this season. Yes, even this one, the one that feels unclear, unfinished, and uncertain. This is the soil where miracles begin to grow. This is where trust deepens, where peace is born, not from perfection, but from surrender. You don't have to know what's coming next. You don't have to fix everything. You just have to keep letting God carry you. And He will. He always has. I want to tell you this clearly: you are not a burden to heaven. You are not an inconvenience. You are not too much. You are not too broken. You are a beloved child of the living God. And He doesn't just tolerate you, He delights in you. His heart beats with love for you. His Spirit hovers around your life like sunlight waiting to break through the morning clouds. And no matter what you've done, no matter how long it's been since you felt close to Him, it only takes one breath, one whisper, one moment like this, to feel His nearness again. You were created for more than pain. You were designed for joy. And even though life has handed you seasons that made you question your purpose, your worth, your very existence, I am here to tell you, heaven never stopped writing your story. And the best parts have not yet been revealed. The breakthrough is coming. The healing is already moving toward you. The restoration is not a wish, it is a promise. And even now, God is preparing rooms for you to enter, people who will love you the way He intended, peace that doesn't rely on circumstances, and blessings that will make you forget how long you waited. You may have been last in line in the eyes of others, but in heaven's order, you are exactly where you need to be. Right on time. You've looked around and seen others rise, succeed, rejoice, while you remained stuck in the middle. But your middle is not your ending. The wilderness is not the final destination. It is where God strengthens your steps, prepares your spirit, and teaches your soul to trust Him above all else. When you reach the other side, and you will, you'll look back and see that every delay had a purpose. Every tear had weight. Every struggle shaped the vessel God is now about to fill. You are becoming the kind of person who can carry the blessing without being crushed by it. That's what this season has been about. Not punishment. Not rejection. But preparation. Deep, holy preparation for something so good, so sacred, it had to take time. And now the time is drawing near. I feel it in the Spirit. I see it around you. The darkness is thinning. The light is coming through. And when it does, it won't be just for a moment, it will stay. You'll breathe again without fear. You'll love again without hesitation. You'll live again without the weight of yesterday on your back. That is the future heaven has in store for you. That is why I gave up my wings. Because God is not finished. And I could not rest until you knew that. Let this sink into your spirit. Let it echo through every part of you that still feels fragile. Let it rebuild the walls that were broken by betrayal and disappointment. Let it be the beginning of your return, not to who you were, but to who you were always meant to become. Heaven has been watching over your life with deep tenderness. God has counted every moment you stood in confusion, unsure of what step to take, yet choosing to move forward with faith that was barely hanging on. He has seen the days when you carried others, even while you were breaking. He has watched you give, love, forgive, and stay kind, even when life gave you every reason to shut down. Those moments were holy. They were not wasted. They became altars before God, where your soul worshipped without words. You may feel like you've lost time. Like you missed too many chances, trusted the wrong people, made choices you wish you could undo. But grace doesn't operate by earthly clocks. In God's timing, nothing is lost. He redeems not just moments, but entire seasons. He doesn't just restore years. He revives the soul you became during those years. And the soul you carry now, bruised but still breathing, is more beautiful than it has ever been. There is a reason you are still here. Not just alive, but here, reading this, feeling something stir in your spirit again. That stirring is hope. Not the kind that disappears when life gets hard, but the kind that anchors you. The kind that whispers, "This is not over." The kind that reminds you, God hasn't given up on you, and He never will. You've spent nights wondering if your prayers got lost in the sky. I'm here to tell you they didn't. Every whisper, every tear, every sigh was carried by angels. None of it was dismissed. None of it was ignored. There were delays, yes, but not denial. You were not forgotten. The answers are closer than you think. The shift is already happening in the realm you can't see yet. And soon, the evidence of God's faithfulness will overflow into your reality. You don't need to force anything. You don't need to chase or prove or explain. Just be still and let God continue the work He already began in you. You are a work of divine art, not a project to be fixed. You are loved in process, not just when perfected. And what God has started in your life will not be left unfinished. He completes every good thing He begins. Even the broken pieces are being made whole. This world may not see your worth, but heaven does. This world may overlook your heart, but God never has. You are not small in His eyes. You are not too late, too old, too lost, or too anything to be held in His plan. Everything that makes you feel disqualified, heaven uses as a reason to draw closer. That is the kind of love you're wrapped in. You've had to let go of people you thought would stay forever. You've said goodbye to versions of yourself that were too tired to keep pretending. And in the middle of that, you kept going. That, beloved, is holy endurance. You didn't just survive, you stayed soft. You stayed open. You let life break you, but you didn't let it harden you. And that, more than anything, is what God honors. What if you discovered a tiny, walnut-sized brain region holds the secret to endless wealth and success? Recently uncovered by groundbreaking research and once buried in classified files, this frequency is now available to anyone ready to listen. Imagine replacing worry and struggle with a life of financial ease and freedom. Interested? Click the link in video description and comments below to unleash this hidden brainwave and start attracting wealth right now. You have been guided to this message for a reason, and if you turn away, the chance may not return. This is your time to step in. Type 1212 if you know God is guiding your steps. There's a season coming where all of that faith, all of that trusting in the dark, will bloom into something so beautiful it will leave you breathless. I've seen the pages that are being written next. I've seen the doors being opened that no man can close. I've seen the healing, the restoration, the abundance, yes, the abundance, that God is about to release over your life. It's not far. It's near. And it's yours. You were never forgotten. You were never passed over. You were being hidden, protected, preserved. Not because you were unworthy, but because what you carry is sacred. And sacred things are always guarded carefully. That's why you had to wait. That's why some people couldn't stay. That's why the path was narrow. But that narrow road is about to open into wide spaces of blessing. Let peace rise up in you now, not because everything has been answered, but because everything is in His hands. Let joy return, not the kind the world gives, but the kind that remains even when nothing makes sense. Let love take root again, not the fragile love of man, but the endless love of Christ that cannot be shaken. And let this truth settle in your bones: God is still writing your story, and the chapters ahead are filled with beauty you can't yet imagine. There are places in your soul that have been aching quietly for years. You've learned how to function while grieving, how to serve while suffering, how to smile while bleeding. And yet, all the while, God has seen it. He never looked away. While you were holding yourself together for everyone else, He was holding you. When you had no words left for prayer, your silence still reached His ears. That is the kind of closeness He's always offered you, even when it felt like no one else could see the weight on your back. I see the hidden burdens you carry. The ones you never name. The worries that return each night like a tide that never recedes. I've watched your faith fight through exhaustion, through betrayal, through loss, and even through moments of deep silence. I was there when you stared at the ceiling in the dark, wondering if heaven still heard you. I stood near when you said nothing at all because the words just wouldn't come anymore. And I am here now to tell you, He heard you. Every word, even the ones you didn't say, were written into the heart of God. There is a breakthrough coming, not because you've finally figured everything out, but because God's timing is perfect. The waiting hasn't been punishment, it's been protection. If you had received what you prayed for back then, it might have broken you. But now you are stronger. Now your spirit has deeper roots. Now your soul is ready to hold what's coming with grace and wisdom. What felt like delay was heaven's way of building you. You didn't miss your moment. You didn't mess it all up. You didn't fall too far. Grace is still pursuing you. Mercy is still wrapping itself around you. And the plans of God have not been canceled because of your pain, they've only been intensified. What was once meant to be good will now be glorious. What was once just a blessing will now be a testimony that breaks chains for others. Your suffering wasn't in vain. It became the soil where something divine is now growing. There are open doors ahead. Not just any doors, ones God Himself is unlocking. Not because you earned it, but because He delights in giving good things to His children. What's coming is not fragile. It won't be taken from you. It won't come with fear. It will come with peace. Peace that settles your mind. Peace that quiets your soul. Peace that feels like coming home. Let go of what tried to destroy you. Let go of the shame that clings to your memories. You don't have to be defined by what broke you. You are not the pain that happened to you. You are the praise that rose from the ashes. And heaven celebrates every time you chose hope when it would have been easier to give up. God is not looking for a perfect performance. He's looking for a willing heart. And yours, even in its trembling, even in its confusion, even in its tiredness, has always been willing. That's why I was sent. That's why you're reading this now. Because your heart has cried out long enough, and now heaven is answering. Not with noise. Not with thunder. But with stillness that speaks louder than chaos. What if I told you financial freedom is not about working harder, but activating a dormant brain signal designed to draw abundance directly to you? Neuroscience proves this sound wave unlocks prosperity faster than any method known before. From unexpected cash to life-changing success, it's already helping thousands. Imagine looking back tomorrow wishing you had acted today. Do not let regret replace the miracle that is calling you right now. Click the link in the video description and comments below to turn on the ancient money wave and create the life you've always dreamed of today. There are new beginnings forming beneath the surface. You haven't seen them yet, but your spirit knows. That quiet stirring inside you is not fear, it's the Spirit preparing you. Don't ignore it. Don't run from it. Lean into it. Let yourself believe again. Not just in good things, but in the God who creates them. Let yourself feel again. Not just the pain, but the joy that's returning. Let yourself hope again. Not in people, not in outcomes, but in the one who holds it all. I speak gently to the wounds you've tried to ignore. The disappointments you buried so deep inside that even you forgot how much they shaped you. You've tried to move forward, to stay strong, to keep going, but your soul has felt tired in ways you've been too afraid to admit. You've been running on empty, giving from a well that hasn't been filled in a long time. And still, you've shown up. Still, you've loved. Still, you've tried. Amen.